This week, Nation's Business focuses on the devastation caused by Tropical Cyclone Winston in the Northern Division and how government and the international community is working hard to ensure that essential services are up and running, maintained, and communities are assisted. Tropical Cyclone Winston was recorded as the strongest Category 5 cyclone to hit Fiji, tearing apart lives and livelihoods in its path of destruction. Everywhere, Winston's formidable winds forced people to run for cover as heavy rain pelted them, leaving behind a trail of destruction. Villages left homeless, trees uprooted, with debris and corrugated iron flying in the air. Many villages in the provinces of Mbua and Dakundrobe took the warnings lightly and failed to secure their homes on time as DC Winston destroyed everything from power poles to communication lines and roads. Their only hope was to take shelter at the nearest evacuation center. The Divisional Emergency Operations Center in Lambasa, however, had been activated with a directive for the closure of the towns of Sausabu and Lambasa since Tropical Cyclone Winston to hit Madhuwata and Dakundrobe with estimated wind gusts reaching up to 325 kilometers per hour.
This is the weather route forecast. This morning, if you can see the red spot there, the current location.
Senior citizens at the Lambasa Ashram were moved to higher ground.
Kira balik borak lu di orang terali ngala lolo di maru enam pula maru terlong di mata balik nerokin enam pula.
Para pakan tu ni setapa nong kumpul, sambo kau wancina na tango. Ya kalau ngatangan ni lambat kemai micu na singa kaya pakai amboni. Sin madala kasi ni tamatele be lega bala. Ya ni nunggu ya data.
We've seen there's a lot of destruction in terms of the houses. There's a total of 34 houses altogether completely destroyed, 16 partly damaged, and the structures at the school we came with the Ministry of Education officials, and we've seen that the school is also badly damaged. So straight away after seeing for ourselves the impact here on the ground, we have relayed the message to our national EOC in Suva, seeking for urgent assistance.
The trail of destruction left by TC Winston on mainland Bua, the Kondrabe and the northern maritime islands of Taviuni, Gamea and Lodhala was horrific.
Nangona sali lawa mai kina I sanan bo sali reda na kina kuku. Buno mandanga kitore me kitore no senrani na kokoni dangi watana matani.
Winston had instilled fear in the lives of the many families who struggled to steer away to safety from his grasp and will continue to retell their tales of survival to their future generation. Taviuni was the worst affected in the Northern Division, with many of its people left with almost nothing to go back to.
This is a big damage, man. I mean to say everywhere, all around Taviuni. We are farmer. We gone, I could say 10 years back now. Very hard. Life is now very hard. Nothing left.
For those living here, it is the first time they have come across such a magnitude of destruction. Everywhere we looked, we saw ruins of what used to be homes on this beautiful island.
As you know, colleagues, the state of emergency is 30 days. That means all resources and personnel are to come on board and be part of this operation. That's a message from the Prime Minister. Leave aside the skeleton one in your office just to man the daily operation of office. So we will need most of the manpower and the resources in this operation for these 30 days. We want to restore normalcy back. So the faster we can do that, the better.
Public transportation around Vonolebo was suspended for a few days due to fallen trees, damaged power lines, landslides, and road washouts. All communication networks were down, making it difficult to get reports of the extent of damage.
It's heads. Can we go and meet in Sabu? Pasirua. So timi lakabango yung bua. So lakabango. Perto na tako so bango idake. Sabu is we to cut off Sertunga may Sabu. We need to go and meet with them. So the team that go down to Bua take all the report from there, and those going up north Sangani come down. We meet at Sabu PA's office at 3 o'clock.
40 feet high waves crippled the Nambowalu jetty, suspending the services of Peterson shipping for a few days, while jetties in Sausabu and Wayevo in Taviuni also sustained similar damage. The Fiji Roads Authority quickly worked overnight for a temporary access on the Nambowalu and Sabu jetties to ensure that relief supplies start arriving from Vitilevu.
Nakatagiti ko na vivu ke andundo saya da tiumai ke na nitu sare den sa kan bitonga na bunong bualu na wanga ko na wangole timbang mai na matintu me mai buke ra walangai badasare na bukuli lamba.
These jetties are the main economic lifeline for Vonolebo. In the education sector, 15 schools in Bua and Dakondrove were severely damaged by TC Winston. Classrooms, libraries, dormitories, and teachers' quarters were either totally destroyed or blown away, leaving books and other learning materials damaged, wet, and scattered everywhere.
Okay. Wala ka na to na to may what? Karena to may kalian betul ke sini buli. Setiap tengah hari. Setiap tengah ni office mata dulu. Dia kurang kata buli. I had a briefing with the RFMF and the engineers are going to come and do some scoping very quickly today on what can we do within the next few days to ensure that the school reopens.
Throughout Vanuatu, 68 evacuation centers were activated to shelter 4,454 evacuees who were left homeless by TC Winston. Here at Urata village in Sausabu, located along the coastline, a portion of the highway was washed away by strong waves.
Indo nambah sini lagu ike, indo ngana kena uang kayak kita naikin. Walasan angko sangka mekarawa, kayak lagu menandir nggak mekelia.
Balain Rokonroko says this is the first time he has experienced a Category 5 cyclone.
Sangka kena keruang, wah yongo sangka isi biasa. Kono pun angko sangka nau sawa, sana sini ngonsal sana ko, asen tak suken tamat, na waitui.
In Sausabu, yachts were thrown inland, some landing just inches from the main highway and others onto mangroves.
I was able to stay on my boat and stay safe.
How bad was the wind?
The wind was so bad that the dinghy, which was tied in the back, was floating in the air, and the waves were coming right up to this boat. During the afternoon and evening, they were one by one blown here from down at Copper Shed and White Marina. The brunt of the wind was about 10 o'clock at night, 11 and 12, but the wind moved all the way around. As the storm moved that side, the wind moved and came all the way around to this side. So it started on that side and went all the way around to that side during the evening.
I have, the stakeholders have this fear that the boats that have broken the moon and they are lying on the side of the mangroves could be looted. There's quite a few lined up around the right up to South Marine.
We've seen some over here. Chini.
Whilst manpower are on the ground assessing damage, the DISMEC office in Lambasa has sent its request to the National Emergency Operations Center in Suba for emergency relief supplies to be supplied to Vanuatu. Squadron 52 of the French Air Force touched down at Waingele Airport, carrying much needed emergency supplies as the international community began its assistance towards relief and recovery efforts.
What we are trying to do now, temporarily, in the interim, to give them tarpaulins and tents so that they can go and start their life again, waiting for the rehabilitation process in terms of rebuilding their homes. So we badly need tarpaulins and the tents so that people who have lost their houses, damaged their houses, could find some shelter. That is why the assistance is coming this morning. Straight away, we'll start with the distribution today.
We can bring 5 tons maximum on this aircraft, and the capacity here in Lambasa is 4 tons. And it's a good aircraft for this mission because it's a short landing.
All in all, this extensive operation has left many with sleepless nights in ensuring that assistance is delivered to the affected communities across the Northern Division. Some relief items have been airlifted, while tons of food items were also transported by sea through government vessels.
Most of the root crops, according to the surveys that was conducted, root crops that have suffered a lot during the cyclone, most of them they no longer can use it now. So the ration that is coming now straight away will be distributed to them today and some tomorrow.
Asela Sudu, a widow who lives with her 3 children, was one of the many recipients who was provided with a temporary shelter.
Kito satu ngone to wala sabaro taktu na matentu mero kina nito ngarabi bula kina betinami nito ngarabi buli ngone kito samai barat tu kina na wala sabaro taktu na matentu naksarbali.
As the affected communities try to return to normalcy, each sector in government has come up with its own rehabilitation program.
Completed the detailed damage assessment. And it's quite significant to see the severe damage into our crop and livestock. So we have come up with the rehabilitation program. We'll really look into first thematic areas, that is to look into the return of normalcy of the food security. Through that, we'll provide assistance on the planting material for kumala cuttings. We also look into assorted vegetables. The main reason why we have came up with this, because these are short-term crops, will be mature within 3 to 4 months' time.
Villagers who have received their seedlings were happy by the timely assistance provided by the Ministry of Agriculture.
Sandana kana lebna ni marau ni babi na binaka. Samai solinaite me ba torde takina be matabo baleandundua na bukuni kana bavavanya.
The Department of Fisheries, together with the district of Namuka in the Motherwata province, provided more than a tonnage of fish to be delivered to the affected areas in the Mbua and the Konrobe province. With rehabilitation work carried out around the island, the Honorable Prime Minister Borenke Mbanyumrama also made a visit to the island of Taviuni, accompanied by the Australian High Commissioner to Fiji, Margaret Toomey, and the Deputy Force Commander, Scott Hill. He was briefed by D.O. Taviuni at the Wayevo government station prior to visiting the villages that were affected on the southern part of the island. It's visits like these that brings about much needed relief and hope to communities, and an opportunity to see the rehabilitation work that is currently taking place to get people on their feet.
Tulna singa mai tava na mada sauti sa mai tomantal na kena ge tomaningo sana tomaninga na vida na bonua kem doi ke me Taviuni manda ena singni takara rambutu ibichi na ngona taka kina na kemambala na bonua ke na vi bonua ke ibichi sulikin na kakana sulikin na wai na ngona ge tomantal kina ngona tulsa bonua singa sana lorenga na bonua e pakata ni pokoliu o kem do e buna na buna sana kai kuri tunga mekin melak tu mekin na kakana muni kana chiko me ado bone sa paka toko ta kina no muni bunwa.
Areas the Prime Minister visited were Nawakawau Catholic, South Taviuni Primary and Secondary School.
We've covered the south of Taviuni that was devastated during Winston, especially Nawakawau and Vuna and the schools. They've started to slowly recover from the assistance that's been provided by Commissioner Northern Office, especially D.O. Taviuni. So they're doing quite well. We had a bit of a problem with water, and I think we're going to try and rectify those.
At Vuna, the Australian military force, through humanitarian assistance, were rebuilding schools that were badly damaged.
We've just finished delivering a number of construction materials and stores to South Taviuni Primary and Secondary School. For us, it's been an excellent opportunity to come out here and provide support to a fellow Pacific nation. It's been an excellent opportunity for us here on the ground to be able to get out and engage with the local population and assist in their reconstruction efforts here on the island. Now, I know the guys are very proud to be out here in support of an operation like this.
The head of state, His Excellency the President, Major General retired Chochi Conrote, also visited the island of Tabiuni to assess the damage sustained from Winston.
Hello everyone, you look very smiling in spite of all
His Excellency was accompanied by the Commander of the Fiji Military Force and Commissioner for Police, airlifted by the Australian Air Force chopper.
We are so delighted, so grateful that we have the President, the President of Fiji, visiting Tabiuni, especially one of the most devastated village in Tabiuni, Nalaviana. Unfortunately, we could not go down to the south to visit Tikinobula. However, we were so grateful that he came, and morale boosting. People are now starting rebuilding with words of encouragement from His Excellency. We're so delighted that he came and come and visit our local village.